Good morning, everybody. It is Stamp Together Saturday day. My name is Amy Rich. I am Amy Rich, Nutso Stamper, Stampin' Nut. Those are my kind of my names online. So I am in Minnesota, where we are cold and we are a little bit snowy, although a lot of that has melted. So that's a good thing. Good morning, ladies. Hi. Okay, so as you may have noticed, we have very few supplies for today's card. Are you intrigued? It's kind of a fun one, and it uses, like I said, not very many supplies. So what we're going to do is make sure to have your trimmer handy, because that's the first thing we're going to do is trim our designer series paper. So get that handy. I'm going to flip the camera. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being here. It is, the colder it gets, I think, the more we're going to want to stamp. And what you don't see is up on my TV, I've got Hallmark movies muted while we're together because I'm going to be stamping all day and Hallmark will be on. So it's countdown to Christmas already, so that's a fun thing. Okay, so I did not keep my DSP over here that I'm using as far as the rest of the pack, but this is the one with the whales and the turtles and the seahorses and all of those. I used it a while ago on one of our cards, and I brought it back for this one because I loved the thought of having some water with my cutout turtle. So one of the things I said was to have a cutout, punched out piece or cutout piece that is relatively small. And I just cut mine out of my designer series paper. So yeah, it made it easy because I didn't have to have the stamps or do any of that type of thing. So like I said, we're going to do the trimming of the DSP first. And I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Up! Trimmer. But what I love about this trimmer, and you've probably heard me talk about it before, is that it's got the measurements to the left, like always, like most of them. And then it's got measurements to the right of the cut, too. And I'm going to use that feature today to help me put my cut where I want it. If you don't have that, don't worry. This is not a precise cut, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so you're going to take your DSP and you're going to hold it in the direction that you want it to appear on your project. All right. And then we're going to make a cut from left side to right side, not top to bottom, but left to right. And so I'm going to turn it. So I'm going to make that cut from right to left, okay, or left to right. And we want this cut to be at a diagonal. So what I'm going to do is put my upper right corner. See, remember, this is the way I want my paper. So I'm going to put my upper right corner right around the 1 inch mark on this side. And I'm going to put my bottom left corner about the 1 inch mark on this side. So that when we trim then, so I've got that at the 1 inch and that about at the 1 inch. It doesn't, like I say, have to be precise. So just if you don't have those measurements on both sides, just put it at a diagonal and then slice it. And this is how our card is going to sit then, okay? So I'll give you just a minute or two. I know it's kind of scary to make a cut like that when you're not sure what's going on yet. But this is a super simple card, and I love that you can do it with 4x4 paper because most of our designer series paper is 12x12. We do have 6x6 also, and actually this is 6x6. But if you have 12x12, you'll be able to get 9 of these cards out of a piece of 12x12. So that's really nice. So we just want this cut at the diagonal. Hopefully I jabbered long enough now for you to catch up. All right, so then you're going to take, I said white or vanilla, whatever matches your DSP, cut at 4 1/4 by 11. So that's what this piece is. And then we're going to take our DSP and we're going to adhere it to the front of our card. So the card will be, oh my gosh, what is happening with my tape? There's no, all right, I'm out. I think I goofed when I put it in, so it's goofed up. I'm going to have to mess with it. All right, so my top piece then is going to go like a layer on the card where you've got your little border. And then the bottom piece is going to go the same way at the bottom. So we're going to have this little gap here. And that gap then is where we're going to stamp our sentiment and put our cutout image. Okay, if that makes sense, I hope. All right, so we've got our DSP layered like that. And then the stamps that I decided to use is Forever Fern, and I know it seems weird that I'm going to combine that ocean paper with leaves. Well, I'm not. I really liked the You Can Do This sentiment. I have a couple friends battling cancer, and I just think what a cool card to give to them that says you can do this, you got this. They're, you know, they've got chemotherapy, and you know it's tough. So that is going to go, and I'm using Night of Navy ink. That's going to go at the diagonal also, at that angle, just like that. I think I said that your sentiment could be like 1x3. So mine isn't maybe very fat, but it does fill in the 3-inch space that way. And then you're going to take your cutout image. You know, and I said it could be a stamped and cut thing or cut out of DSP. And again, that's what I did. I'm just going to take a couple little pieces of my dimensionals since I didn't get out my mini dimensionals this morning. And we're just going to put those on there. So if you have your dimensionals handy, now is when you will pop up that imagery that you have ready. So we'll stick that on, and that'll go next to our sentiment in my white space. And, you know, I said it could be, I don't remember what measurements I said, but, you know, you'll have to play around. Maybe once you see this and, you know, you think, oh, I would have chosen something a little bit different. That's fine. You know, when we get together here, it's a surprise project for you, right? To some degree. And if you're doing it with me, the first time is kind of a test period. And then, you know, you can make more after that. But isn't that cute? Oh, I just think that is so fun. And then take your ribbon or your twine. I said thin ribbon or twine, I think, for this one. And that's just going to go loop through the top of the card. And I'm just going to tie a knot. So this navy ribbon that I'm using comes from Playing with Patterns, I think it is. And then you can go ahead and trim. And mine is loose. I'm going to want to fix that because that's going to drive me crazy. But yeah, isn't that fun? Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Sharon. Me too. I'm going to show you my inspiration now. Last week I didn't really have an inspiration piece to share, but this is my inspiration. I had gotten it, I think, as a swap, and I don't, yeah, they even decorated the inside. I don't have a name. I'm much more careful about that now, keeping the name of the person on the card, but that's my inspiration. So today I'm going to look for your samples in the thread, but I'm also going to put mine in there. And what I always do when we do Stamp Together Saturday is I put that dimensions post in there too, so that if you come back to a video later and go, now what were the dimensions for this card? It'll be in the thread. And then you can go back and cut and make more if you would like. So I will always put that in the thread along with my sample so that you can duplicate that and recall how that goes. So I just want to thank you again for joining me every week. Next week will be episode 30, and that's really exciting. Halloween, right? Yeah, I will plan to be here at regular time. So I will see you then and at What's Up Stampers on Wednesday. So have a great day, everybody, and a wonderful weekend.